Today's video has one very simple goal: to debunk the myth that you cannot integrate your PC into the living room to work like a console should you choose to. In this long line of thread, there were two myths that propped up. One of them was that you need to spend $1,500 to match the PS5 Pro. That is a debunked myth. I built a 6750 XT build that beats the PS5, and it will trade blows with the PS5 Pro. Probably beat it in many instances because it's got dedicated CPU and GPU, but that aside. The other side is that, the PC is not intended for the living room use, hence it cannot do the job. That's a myth because when you actually take the step to build a PC, your intent is that the PC will do what you want it to do. So you actually intend to use that PC for gaming, hence why we call it a gaming PC. If you choose that the PC be used to game in your office, then it will game in your office. If you choose that the PC be able to game in your living room, then that would also be its purpose. You would build it that way by using parts that are appropriate to fit your need. I think this is basically the entire solution of this whole conversation. However, I've taken the extra step to go ahead and show you guys a few things. Number one, I've created 3 different scenarios: 2 PC builds and an Xbox Series X. What I'm trying to do is show you that these 3 items can all be connected to a TV. I can change my inputs and begin gaming or continue gaming from wherever it is as I stop. So if you notice, I got 3 controllers here for you guys. All of them will be controlling the different devices. One of them is plugged in via cable on a massive, case that can take EATX motherboards. EATX is one of the bigger sides, so you can do that. In fact, this case, people have used it to build living room builds, and they put their reviews on Amazon. I was shocked when I saw it because I didn't think people could be that creative. Apparently, this build is actually designed for you to be able to mount your PC on the wall or on objects should you choose. So it's an entire different niche, and believe you me, the case was surprisingly not expensive. This is why it attracted me to use it for my open test bench, and so I got it. On the right side, you'll see a Series X, and you'll also see a small form factor PC that pretty much share very similar height. Now, in case of width, it is wider in a sense. Actually, the Series X is taller than it, but this, case is wider because I have to fit in a 323 millimeter GPU. That's what it's designed for. Should say if it wasn't the case, would probably be able to get away with a much smaller case. But you can notice that I can simply just change my input, and I can use my controller to access my library to play my games. I can do so both on the PC that is using a wireless controller to run Steam OS, which is basically big picture mode in Steam. I can do so with my Xbox Series X, fire up a video game, and continue from where I stopped. I can do so with the traditional PC build. All of this connected to a TV, and you, the user, get to set it up where you want. This is something that I think a lot of people are missing in the conversation. So when they come out and say stuff like that, they said something, it was very interesting. They said, PC for the living room is very niche. It's not ever going to be a popular thing. Popularity is not the reason why people go on PC. You have to understand that they go on PC because they are taking an unpopular path. The popular path would be to taking a console and, or either of the consoles and putting in your living room. Going the unconventional route and building your own gaming machine is not the popular way to go. It's taken a lot of time for a lot of people to finally warm up that the PC platform is where their consoles are eventually going. I mean, look at the news surrounding Xbox. Look at what PlayStation is doing on the PC platform. I walked into GameStop today and I looked at the solid state drive, the NVMe that sold for PlayStation 5. They wrote on their PlayStation and then they wrote under their PC because it's a PC component. That's literally what you're seeing right now. And then they said this: Windows simply isn't couch friendly. It's called desktop PC for a reason. My dude, have you ever heard of a Windows tablet? Have you ever heard about a Windows handheld? Have you ever heard about a Windows laptop? There are things that a lot of people say that I have to go ahead and question. Why do you not take the time to actually go ahead and say, okay, I believe this is something. Why don't I check to see if what I believe is actually true? A lot of people don't intend nor care to take the time to even do that anymore these days. Hence, we find ourselves in a situation where we're arguing what is already and should already be known. I teach young people, and I've realized that one of the biggest challenges in teaching is that, you have to be able to manage young people and, in a sense, help them with, what I call emotional maturity, just knowing where they are and doing the right thing. But one of the biggest challenges is adults. We adults, we're very hard to teach. We're very hard to basically change our minds because we have our belief systems and we dig in even further sometimes. Instead of opening our minds and saying, oh, okay, this is something that I didn't even really know or realize was a thing, we sometimes find ourselves running circles around what we think is true. Today, we're moving into 2025. Ignorance is no longer an excuse for anybody, especially in this time and day and age. You can basically build a PC, structure it to be wirelessly controlled, and if you want to mimic the console experience, why anybody would want to do that, I don't know. But if you want it, it's available for you to do so. Just because you may not know doesn't mean you want to just go ahead and make claims. I get it. It's comment section. It's in the internet. I'm not expecting everybody to be an expert. However, you can simply just ask questions, right? You could please say, okay, is this a common thing that people put their PCs in their living room and connect it to their TV? And I bet you're going to see dozens of answers on that. People are going to tell you, heck yeah. If you want pictures, you can go on a subreddit and look for people who connect their own PC to the TV. If you want that, you will be very surprised how common this particular practice actually is. Even a simple image search on Google will show you different iterations of people having done so. You can see their pictures on Pinterest. You can see it on Reddit. You can even go on YouTube to watch videos of people having done this. These images are not fugazi. Yes, there's some of them that are probably fake, but you can find individuals who've already done this stuff and who are enjoying it themselves. For you to say this is not popular is wild, because one thing that is recently taking off is the ITX build. You can even see the trend from manufacturers now starting to make cases that are friendly for living room in quote builds, so that you can actually fit your gizmos into a smaller compartment and be able to, shelve it somewhere where it can connect to your TV and you can pretty much work wirelessly. Using a mouse and a keyboard on Windows is nothing new for people who want to basically still have some mouse control on their PC. There are all kinds of different units. There are small pads that allow for you to be able to use a mouse and a keyboard touchpad, or you can get a small plugin or an app that will allow for you to use your controller as the mouse and the keyboard. This is not rocket science anymore. It was back in the day people could say stuff like this and walk away. I can imagine that, at some point, maybe we didn't know all this stuff, but with the explosion of technology since 2020, it's insane. In fact, this is the reason why Steam wants to actually move into this PC for the living room market, because they're seeing the reason for it. And this person cited something about, that's the reason why Steam wants to make the box. Do you know that Steam is going to make this box with the exact same big picture mode Steam OS on it already? Something that is already available on PC. So by the time people are waiting to get some Steam box, that was probably going to be made by Dell and Acer and Asus for premiums of amounts of money, they could build themselves a PC and enjoy the exact same thing. The exact same thing with even added benefits. So let's go ahead and put this myth to rest. Let's debunk this narrative. I'm going to put this in a PlayStation 5 Pro versus PC, playlist, so that we're at least very well understood that the limitations are only in the minds of those who have not taken the time to actually go ahead and research what this thing is all about. Now, to be honest, I get it. Some people are not interested, but if you're not interested, beware of making claims that, in a sense, make you seem like you're arguing in bad faith. I would hate to believe that. I don't think you are, but it seems like that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting when there's a plethora of evidence all over the place that's showing that this is actually a thing. Thanks for watching the video. Appreciate you guys so much. Have a Merry Christmas and enjoy your holidays. Hopefully we can talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.